Ho, ho, ho. Welcome back. It's the night shift. We brought in Grandpa Jake, DDK. Everyone is feeling festive. We're ready to rock. I don't know why I called you Grandpa Jake. You just give me those happy.
I was about to say that's the first time I've been called Grandpa. That's a new one for me, but I'll take it.
That means that you've reproduced, and then your reproductions have reproduced. Did you know that? All right. With that
title of
said,
great respect in my culture.
Let's take a look here at the elders of Night Shift. That would be Bunny with Clock. They've been around for a while, DDK. They haven't been able to walk away with the championship belt in NA in a few weeks, but they've been threatening. Tonight, they got a new challenger in the Kawaii Crew. Who are you excited to watch? Any players in particular?
Honestly, I'm just really excited for what I expect to be another rematch from BWC and Melee Creeps in that money match. I mean, I think honestly, BWC have been really nipping at their heels and improving a lot as a team over time, showing a lot of promise. And Kawaii Crew, they're looking to make an upset here and have an extra shot. And who knows, right? With the hotfix patch coming in live before the tournament got started, maybe this is an opportunity to bring an upset. But Bunny with Clock have looked like a very solid number 2 in NA, and no one else has really put them to the test here in this challenger match.
Solomon, let's go ahead and pull it up. There is your success rate of the cat suits. That is Melee Creeps. It started way back on episode 12. They have been on fire, winning everything through episode 18 into tonight. BWC has been along the ride the last 4 weeks, and just like Leviathan, they've fallen short each time. The difference? We've seen some game 3s from this squad. We'll find out, can they win another challenger matchup, though? That is how we always kick things off here in North America. And as we mentioned, Kawaii Crew filling in on late notice. They were ready to go. They're hungry. Let's see what they can put together. It's Ken, Fred the Finch, who's been awake for 30 hours in a row, live streaming over on Fred the Finch at twitch.tv. We got Generic Ed Boy, Boger, Leviathan, and Venus. Who are you excited to see? Can we start here with Fred the Finch? Jake,
I want to see what the hell.
Who is this guy?
Fred
what does he play?
Doing. I mean, Fred is a notorious Yamato spammer, I would say, of rank, but definitely going to be curious to see how his tournament performance looks on hour 30 of streaming. That's truly one of the more out there moves I've ever seen in esports. So I'm just curious what's going on for Yamato.
I don't trust myself after 10 hours, let alone 30.
I don't love their odds playing on no sleep Yamato.
Oh God, I just pulled up his channel. Production, you can do that at your own volition. Whenever you want. The left side of the screen is terrifying. Twitch.tv/Fred the Finch if you'd like to support the players. He looks desperate for support right now. That is Kawaii Crew. On the other side of this matchup, DDK, we've got the familiar favorites of Bunny with Clock. The hares with Rolexes, rabbits with Rolexes. There we go. Gibbs, Aiden the Destroyer has not been able to play his signature Vindicta. Tanner on Abrams could be back in the mix, and we'll see Arctic Cool Cheese and Poshy Pop, who has won multiple MVP awards. Walk me through this lineup.
Well, my favorite thing about this team is how Tanner, when he appears in his EP, he gets a little shaky, starts shaking in fear, brings back the old memories. But besides that, being a fun thing for me, I do really enjoy seeing what we've had out of Aiden, especially given that Vindicta's been able to be somewhat of a mainstay in the meta the last few months, which is really cool. And Aiden is like a best in class there. Poshy Pop, obviously, I think is getting stronger all the time. And Poshy Pop is also, I think this is actually a good spot to shout out Poshy Pop's coaching, because he does like really good coaching in his on both of his channel and in his Discord. So someone that is a very, very good thinker and constantly teaching people how to think about the game and how to play better. So it's always good to see Poshy Pop being involved in leading these squadrons.
Yeah, I definitely always like to watch Aiden, see what he gets as far as his role, but yeah, I mean, Arctic and Poshy Pop taking the farm on this team. These guys have been really a powerful duo in terms of getting ahead of the game, getting all their items online, and just closing it out. So definitely a lot of expectations here for Bunny with Clock. I really want to see this team continue to grow and improve. And as individuals, they've all looked better and better over the last few weeks. And while Melee Creeps continues to stay ahead of the pack, I'm always excited to see Bunny with Clock hop on the server, especially here in the challenger match, where maybe they can put on a little bit more of a show for us. As good old Fred.
Speaking of looking better and better, this is Fred the Finch live. We were able to dial into his Twitch.tv. DDK, would you be able to rock the ears as well as Fred is right there?
No, actually, it's looking pretty good right there. I like the contrast. It goes really well with the maid cosplay there, and the contrast with the beard as well. I think it's all really working for him.
I think he's only going on hour 20, or maybe that's a countdown to when.
That's counting down, which disturbs me of how long he must have been on. So you know what? Godspeed, Fred. Somebody get this man an energy drink. Get him up and at him. We're gonna need to see a big performance here in this challenger match for Fred to be able to pick up this dub.
Stretch your legs, Fred. You're gonna be here a while. I have a feeling your team is going to the grand finals. First, though, you got to win this match, and before you can win it, you got to win a Mo 1v1 to decide who gets the edge in the draft. Kawaii Crew versus Bunny with Clock. We got a Mo v Mo on our hands, and DDK. I'm trying to read the names. In blue, who do we got?
I can't read it, but you better savor this moment because this might be the only time we see Mo today. Basically,
Mo's been really falling off in a pretty big way as a nice parry comes in, double heavy. Mo in the orange trunks definitely looking to be pretty favored here, but a wisp parry could be disaster here for the blue Mo. Naze hits some kind of a clutch parry off here. Jukin, hold on.
Okay.
Slam.
RIP. You gotta do it. You gotta go for it. I love the wall jump tech there, trying to be sneaky with the acrobatics. But, yeah.
Champions, what do? You just won. You choose to be the second team, or we just heard that was a failed strategy that ended up with a doorman warden combo every game, right?
Yeah, I feel like you probably want first pick right now, but it's patch day, right? So even these teams who are experienced and have been working, together for weeks and months now, even they are not going to know exactly what's the best, what's the meta, especially as far as drafting goes, because first, second pick in theory are pretty close to balance. So for me on patch day, it's just up to what each team's vision is, what they want to try, because it's going to be a little bit more experimental no matter what your strategy is.
All right, Dan, you know what time it is.
Opening ban. Oh my
crazy.
God. Absolute denial of Dynamo.
I gotta say, Jake, I actually felt like Dynamo was one of the heroes that actually got hit with the nerfs the most. Actually, because they reduced the range on the kinetic pulse, they reduced the damage on it. I think it was so like
the range nerf is only the spirit scaling, so it just nerfs when you get like Giga late game with 1,000,000 spirit. You don't go like across the map with it, but
I know it was sick. It was super good. I feel like
it was good for like shoving all the way down a lane. You catch somebody a mile away. But with Dynamo banned, Bunny the Clock fearlessly going to open with the Shiv here, and that means they're giving Billy +1 if Kawaii Crew want it on the other side. Maybe a Billy Yamato. At Fred at our whatever the hell, however long he's been up, you got to get this man on Yamato this game. Don't be asking him to flex off the mainstay after this many hours of consecutive streaming.
Yeah, and this is the European drop was super interesting. We had Saint saying that he feels like Billy Billy's not that great, compared to how he was with some of these recent changes, and he felt like what he said in the interview was that he feels like not much has changed. And what we saw out of the drafts in Europe, Jake, was really interesting. No M1 carries really, like Warden, but to get Warden, you had to kind of secure the doorman to be able to pick him as well. So kind of weird, like the meta over there's going to look very different to this, it looks like, because we already have the Mirage in play.
And by taking away the Dynamo, ZP was just mentioning in the chat, I mean, this is a bit of a respect ban from Bunny the Clock towards Kawaii Crew, with Ken being a really well-known Dynamo player. I mean, it's kind of insane to see a hero that usually, if it gets picked, it's going like 11th, 12th in terms of its slot in the draft. But to be first banning it and feeling like that's the #1 threat you have to worry about, I guess it makes sense, because it's a hero that can be very awkward to play against, right? You make like one big mistake, the Dynamo catches you out one big time, and like the game could kind of spiral out of control. So there's something to be said for Bunny with the Clock, just keeping things in their wheelhouse and comfortable, especially given that it's patch day. But man, I will say their approach to the draft, it's given Kawaii Crew everything they could ever want. I mean, getting this first 3 is pretty insane right now.
Yeah, I think especially the Mirage. I don't think that there is a good counterbalance to Mirage right now. I do think Infernus is still really good, and I think he's been undervalued a little bit. But still, Mirage is the GOAT, and teams are not favoring Wraith as much in contrast. So
it's a weird Sinclair ban, because I would think Sinclair actually looks really good against Bunny with Clock, right? To be able to steal Kelvin Dome and Affliction. But maybe Kawaii Crew, I'm not sure. Not as many characters or players, rather, I think, are confident on the Sinclair and, really wanting to make use of his ult swapping in team fights. And so they are just going to ban it out and get rid of it. So both teams have invested pretty heavily in the front line. Kawaii Crew grabbed the Vindicta, great hero comboing with Abrams on the lane, has looked like really, really solid in the past. And I feel like Kawaii Crew are getting like a really S tier draft right now. I mean, I know Bunny with Clock, I'd favor them and call them the likely favorites in the match, but the draft they're up against is pretty terrifying to me. They go with a Victor as a way to maybe like overwhelm this Abrams Billy in the front line. Interesting idea.
It's also good to take away from Kawaii Crew because I think Victor plays against Kelvin pretty well because, playing inside the dome and, like just those kind of skirmishing around against the Kelvin's kind of nice. And I was going to say, it was interesting that we didn't see Doorman until so late. And again, we talked about how Doorman is kind of a nice counter pick to a Warden just because he can Doorman just stick him in the hotel. If he drops the ults, removing his presence from fights is very impactful.
A surprise Warden hasn't been picked yet. I wonder if Kawaii Crew want to grab it to finish their draft. I feel like it actually would fit in decently well here. You've already banned the Geist away. That's true. Lash is a great shout out. Also going to be super relevant this game. And you're against Kelvin, but I don't hate it completely because I think Victor also can get pulled into a really deep spot by the Lash out. But they go with the Mokrill instead. So prioritizing that ability to like combo and burst down, your shivs, your pockets, characters that are relatively hard to kill, but if you hard lock them down, the follow-up is there. And I will say, man, if you hit someone with a combo, the follow-up stuns are very forthcoming on this Kawaii Crew team. You got Abrams and Vin and Paige all continuing to lock you down. So I think Kawaii Crew have gotten a really sick draft. I do think Bunny with Clock are the much stronger team, and maybe just the Doorman execution is going to be overwhelming for Kawaii Crew, but wow, pure draft-wise, I favor Kawaii Crew here. I don't know about you, Dan.
Yeah, I think one notable thing for me for both teams really is that there's no pick. There's no Paradox, Holiday, Lash, Bebop, none of them. Normally we would see that for pick, especially in that mid game. It can be really decisive to get that advantage. But also, just the Kelvin Doorman combo for Bunny McClock is going to give them a huge edge on any objectives like the urns and the mid bosses and just in general there. So I think that's a nice counterbalance. And then their late game is quite strong also. Obviously, like you said, the players are really good on Bunny with Clock, so you'd want to give them the advantage there too. So interesting draft. I feel like the only disappointment for me is the Mo and Krill. I'm curious to see what the vision's going to be behind that. But it's a very tanky roster for Kawaii Crew. Like Abrams, Billy, Mo and Krill, a big front line, all getting in that Kelvin dome probably together.
They said there would be no Mo and Krill. They said Wraith was overrated. Victor doesn't have a place in the meta. NA is here to prove you all wrong. Is this a bad idea, Jake? Or do you think these guys know something we don't?
Honestly, like Abundance Clock are kind of cooking. I feel like they have a lot of like anti-tanks. So Kawaii Crew, they've got the Billy, the Abrams, and the Mo, right? But Victor is a notoriously hard hero for these heavy frontliners to go through because even if you kill him the once, he's got that shocking reanimation, and being close range with Victor is like, if you're not finishing him quickly, you are dying quickly. And I feel like having Shiv and Pocket also throwing down damage and making space for Wraith is going to be really potent. I feel like this game is kind of all about, can Kawaii Crew get on the squishy backliners? If you can avoid the Victor and the Shiv and the Kelvin Dome, and you could be bursting down Wraith and Pocket before they can get their damage out in the fight, I think the fights are going to look really good. But if you fail that test and you're not able to get on those backliners first, I think this Victor is going to just kind of be able to tank through the world here and just sustain everything. Especially the matchup into Mirage is really nice with the inherent debuff remover on your second skill, right? Purging off those Mirage stacks. So I kind of like the Bunny with Clock draft. I think Kawaii Crew have gotten really premium heroes, but Bunny with Clock have played, I think, a little bit more intelligently, and maybe you're looking to counter the meta rather than just playing it themselves.
The final NA Challenger of 2025. Kawaii Crew taking on Bunny with Clock. On the mic is Jake with DDK.
Now, initially, Jake, I wasn't sure I was a fan of the mode, but upon thinking about it through a little bit more, I do get, I think, what they're going for. Oh. We're doing it again.
It'll be a remake? Might be a quick little remake here. Get to the right server. No big deal.
But yeah, I was just going to say, the Mo is the last pick there. I wonder if that is to provide lockdown with the combo for both the Pocket as well as the Victor. There are some of these trickier to lock down heroes that are like pretty essential to, if you get the opportunity to just shut them down instantly in a fight. So maybe that's some of the thinking there behind the Mo.
Yeah, prevent a lot of these heroes from getting their ults off. If you can get on Doorman or Kelvin, like Kelvin especially before the fight, you just start on him, burst him down. There's no frozen shelter, there's no saves, and that could get pretty awkward. So I think I see the vision of the Mokro. I think Kawaii Crew are playing like a tempo style where, hey, they can just like maybe they can snowball off these picks, put some of these bruisers, like let Abrams and Billy have a big game and Mirage behind them, and hey, maybe you're just like ahead enough at a certain point of the game where it's just too hard for Bunny the Clock to get the kind of team fights they're looking for. But Bunny the Clock, I think they've got the answers in the ultra late game. The question is, can they get there?
Can they get there? We are going to find out. We're going to find out. I'm curious. I'm very curious how it's going to work out. I'm like the fact that we, the drafts have been changing so much lately. It used to be so much of an emphasis around, the Infernuses of the world, and I mean, the fact that Infernus still is just not even considered. It's kind of wild. I think it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it could have fit well here, like in the Wraith spot, given the roster you're up against with a lot of these heavier tanks that could really get punished by the burn, but you still go with the Wraith. Maybe a little bit of just comfort over taking risks. A couple daggers from the Shiv right now. Already putting Billy on the back foot, but this is a Billy Page lane, and so it's Billy Page versus Shiv Kelvin. It's the old versus the new, and a sick no-look parry here from the Billy onto the Shiv, but he's getting turned on still. Shiv and Kelvin are battling this one out, and Billy should be going down. Nice parry.
Gets traded out though, until this was the force left.
Kelvin's running low on HP, right? The second page shield of the fight is just a little bit too much. He's got beam, but he just has to try and play his way out of this one. So it's the support walking away from that trade.
Okay, nice. So let's have a look and see who's on what, right? So we got the Arctic with Poshy Pop there on the Wraith and the Kelvin. Although it is the Kelvin with the ship. So that's not going to match up with the lanes like it does in matchmaking.
Yeah, as usual. That's one thing that I think definitely is going to have to be looked at in Deadlock, getting the top of the screen to match. But I see a kill in mid. It's a nice one to find for Tanner, of all people. I mean, Victor is a hero we sometimes see. It's a bit of a time bomb hero. It's like, at some point in the game, you're probably just going to be jungling for a long time. But hey, if you just come out of the jungle and your 5k souls up, you might just be unkillable and just walk down every objective in the game. So curious to see how Tanner takes the start. Just a kill, right? It's not going to be completely destructive start, but we'll see if he's able to turn this into a really solid game of Victor as he goes for a little bit of extra economy. And with Doorman doing a lot of the roaming out of the lane and doing a bunch of boxes, he's going to get a ton of solo souls on this Victor and kind of be in a crazy spot net worth wise. Doorman is searching the ends of the earth, by the way, for these boxes. He's on the opponent's high ground over the aggro earn drop. He's doing the boxes at the mid game. He's never coming back to lane. He's like, Tanner, you got that, bro. You don't need another laner. And honestly, Tanner over at 2.3k, he's probably happy to grab it.
Yeah, this. I guess if you're gonna just get everything for free, it's.
Is this a legit strat?
Oh my God. This is the meta these days, Puckett. Both teams end up leaving lane to grab some boxes, letting the guy who stays in lane get basically all of the money that the lane offers. And that usually funnels your souls to one person. So Doorman's going to be a little bit behind, but he's getting the scraps. And, Victor is eating extremely well.
Yeah, you can definitely see it's giving them the edge overall. Okay, and problems here for Billy getting beamed down. The whole, it's actually kind of cool that you're seeing Billy Page versus Shiv Kelvin.
He's ticking hard here with the 3 daggers in him for Shiv. It's a lot of damage, but these Guardian Ward and the shields from Page are just overwhelming. And I mean, Shiv Kelvin has just lost some of its luster. Here's Vin as well, overloading into the lane. But Bennis rotates and doesn't find kills, so it's actually going to net be pretty positive, I think, for Arctic on the Shiv that he pulls a rotation and doesn't die.
I think this is the first time I've seen in our pro matches the Billy Page versus the Shiv Kelvin.
Yeah,
the Billy Page is the new Shiv Kelvin, kind of.
We rarely see, honestly, that many teams get either of these combos because they're considered so strong, but both teams getting something that they really like. And while Shiv Kelvin, I think, has lost some of its early game ultra dominance, especially into a lane that can actually stand up to them, I do feel like there's still a lot of synergy later on in the game. And as long as Shiv just gets farmed out of this lane and, has a decent snowball rolling, he's going to be pretty happy.
Doorman still the traveler, wandering around the map and roaming into this left side lane with the cars
coming from behind right now. Better watch out, Doorman. Big pin here onto 2. Get some nice damage here. Arctic super low on the Shiv. Miss a parry. And they've got to heal the Shiv off him. He's going to be ticking down from the bloodletting. Billy's thinking about going for a dive here. Holds up for now, though, without some extra page shields. Maybe it would just be a little bit too much. And for now, Shiv does walk it off, which is pretty nice for Bunny with Clock. But Tanner is getting problematic right now. He is at 5k souls, and the next most in the lobby is still less than 4. That's like one of the craziest early game gaps. This Victor is, if he just continues free farming, this is going to be an exceptional Victor game. Like maybe one of the best we've seen on Night Shift.
A lot of skirmishing here on this left side.
Doorman just continuing it up on the high ground here. Doorman's such a nice hero in this meta of just like giga roaming, right? It's exactly what you want to do. The door gives you the mobility, you have a lot of damage and some control to offer in the lane. Not really that reliant on the ult to make these plays happen. But speaking of the ult, Benes holding an angle here on the Vindicta, see if we can get some snipes in. Boger has found Arctic, and the party lane over here on the left side of the map has started to look quite good for this Billy Page. I think that's a kill that starts to tilt against him here.
They're pressuring quite close to this tower now on the right side. And finally getting some damage in. Bunny with Clock looking pretty good at the moment. A couple K souls ahead on the overall, so nothing too crazy. And once again, in the dome we go against the Billy Page. See if they can withstand this one. Oh, the killing blow not quite doing it, but they will find the damage anyway. So Billy stays alive. Actually, just Billy able to trade onto anything? No, everybody is reasonably healthy here, so nothing for Billy to get.
Yeah, getting that dome value, pretty important for the Shiv Calvin lane. Like that's, you know, with that ultimate spike, you have to find kills with Shiv Calvin. They do just get the page, but I mean, the fact that she lives through the killing blow shows this is a deceptively difficult lane to really punish. This Billy and Page, they want to really, I mean, both teams are bringing so many numbers to the side lane. They know this is where there's not really an option to back out with both teams running like more of a bruiser and support style. And it's more about trying to overload the opponent. Towers being chipped both ways. Seems like Billy and Page have gotten a lot more damage on the Guardian, though, and maybe looking to open up this first take as we hit 7 minutes. I mean, the resists aren't nearly as bad on the Guardian now. More opportunity if you want to go for that siege.
Well, there goes Burger on the Abrams, and that's BWC asserting themselves a little bit further into this game on this mid lane now. And yeah, Mega Roam pretty much from minute 2 from the Doorman. It's kind of cool to see how that persists. And now, if we get a response anywhere here, I mean, Mirage is just like sort of left to farm by himself, which is fine, but that tower is going to go down pretty quickly as more emphasis put into mid here by Kawaii Crew. And there is the catch trying to be found. It's a Victor, but oh yeah, we'll find that.
To find. It's exactly the kill you needed, right? That's the most farm character on Bunny with Clock. So the rotation comes in here, pays dividends. It's going to cost them here. Seems that another side Guardian, one that Wraith and Poshpop are all too happy to grab and pick up. Gets Wraith a little bit more active, opens up the map quite a bit for them, but cost is going to be the mid Guardian, as well as Fred the Finch, though, going down in the side lane. I mean, that Shiv Kelvin, they chase deep past the wave, and even Billy, maybe some of those nerfs starting to bite now.
Doorman trying to roam around here, but gets caught around the corner. Able to escape, maybe. It's got a door to throw down. Really nice door mechanics there to escape.
Cool Cheese just playing with absolute fire. Luckily for him, Vin doesn't have any snipes left. Tanner getting in the mix here in the mid lane, but doesn't have ulti here. Could end up being a bit of a risk and needs to get this fight win. Gets a nice parry onto the Billy that protects him for just a moment longer. He's desperately running, just needs to get back behind that tower, get to the walker. 1 HP, just a tickle would do it. Surely they can find this Victor, and they do. Benes chases it down, man, really believing in that kill. And it's been a couple important deaths here for Tanner and really taking some of the speed out of his snowball. And I mean, the possibility of a truly hard carry Victor game there seems to be slipping a little bit away from them as Kawaii Crew more or less even the soul lead.
Yeah, I totally agree. It did really feel like he was becoming a runaway train, and those last 2 kills have slowed him down enormously. And okay, Vindicta might just be able to finish this one off. Oh my goodness. Venus, I'm not
snipe.
exactly sure, but hey, it's getting it done.
All right, so Vindicta could really explode in terms of the farm here if he's able to find some of these assassination kills. He's gone for the max snipe build, so every assassination kill is getting him like, I think it's 850 bonus souls, so over and above the raw souls you get off the kill. So Vindicta can actually explode even just a few kills here in the mid game, getting a lot of these key items online much quicker than normal, but snipe cooldowns are long and the misses are really punishing. Here comes Mo for a combo, would be the perfect setup. This is exactly what you want. Vindicta, doesn't get the final blow though, and he's gonna lose a bit of those souls. So maybe actually kind of a significant mistake. That's like 1,000 souls you end up missing out on here for Kawaii Crew, but they are still pulling into a soul lead.
Yeah, this becomes starting to become kind of interesting again. Another hero to keep tabs on is Mirage. Mirage's farm is incredibly important, and he can just take over the game with that burst damage off the Jin's mark. And here is the Billy Page combo, looking to assert themselves onto that left side lane. That Guardian is gone, so they are just defending their own for that lane. Another pin onto the Victor, and again, Victor, like you were saying, Jacob, that early momentum, it's just completely vanished now.
I mean, the Kawaii Crew, they might be the underdogs, but it doesn't look like it. They're just pulling ahead and ahead in this game, continuously finding kills on some of these really key farmers. I mean, Tanner was crushing this game. He was snowballing so far ahead, and now kind of right in there with the pack. It's actually generic Edboy here on the Mirage, taking the soul lead overall with 11K. We've seen what Mirage can do, man. You hit a certain point in the late game, and I feel like the Mirage is truly ridiculous. Bunny the Clock still very much in this. They've got ultimates, and they're probably looking to make a fight as just that mid lane Guardian standing for Kawaii Crew. And yeah, with a little bit of HP, it's not even going to be worth the defense for Kawaii Crew. One Guardian up on either side here. Now both teams, I think, faced with that decision of where do you want to pressure the map? What's going to be your focus as a group here moving forward and trying to progress this game?
It is interesting because the dive potential onto objectives is kind of nice for Kawaii Crew with the heavy front line that they have. The lack of pick, I think, is where, you know, if either one of these teams gets into a bit of an advantage, the lack of pick is going to make life a little bit harder, because usually that pick allows you to roam into enemy territory a bit, and you get to really extend for those pickoffs to start to extend and capitalize on your lead. But I think that's going to be something they may struggle, but for both teams will struggle a little bit more to find. But you know, we'll have to see if that's the case, or whether the dive potential from this front line for Kawaii Crew will be able to mitigate that.
Doorman baiting here, and it looks like Kawaii Crew might take the bite. They're thinking about diving this Wraith under tower. Billy maybe looking to get connection, does pop the ulti, gets lifted as well, trying to pull the Wraith deep out of tower. There's a lot of follow-up here. Combo onto the Doorman, tried to bail out the Wraith, and just tank the combo, get down Mr. President. Wraith lives for now, which actually probably a better result here. But Kawaii Crew is still getting a bit of walker damage in.
He's diving in for the Doorman ult, but he got stopped before getting to pull that one off. And this is overwhelming numbers right now in favor of Kawaii Crew. This Shiv is surely getting farmed and focused, but no, manages to stay alive. Really great stuff there coming in from the pocket. Aiden the Destroyer doesn't get to be on the Vindicta, but that's a great performance there, and that's turned things around entirely.
That's such a ridiculously huge fight. I mean, Doorman tanks the ults there, but the rest of the team follows it up, interrupts that walker push, protects the walker, and now the punchback is going to be really deadly. I mean, Pop getting a lot done here in the side lane, all waves crashing on Kawaii Crew. That's what happens when you lose your whole team. You end up losing all map control. And now it's going to be quite a bit of time here, some free farming space for Bunny with Clock. Infuser online for Tanner. That's a really key power spike on this Victor, especially as his next ult is coming off cooldown soon, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because Kawaii Crew, up until that push, were really looking to start to forge some momentum, but now they're almost down 10k. In fact, they are down 11k souls. So need to find a way back in here, and they're looking to target onto this Kelvin, taking an aerial haymaker there.
I mean, they're thinking about it, but this is a tough kill, right? Kelvin has a lot of heals, a lot of sustain. Tanner's hanging out nearby, and Tanner would love nothing more than to get into a fight alongside this Kelvin, right? And here comes Shiv as well. So Bunny with Clock wasting no time here, pouring on the pressure. Mo has combo, but does he want to deploy? He's being chased down. He's running for the hills. This is the worst case scenario on the Mo. Caught and initiated on, not able to use that combo. And Tanner's just continuing to push down the lane. He's almost under the walker. Billy takes the fight, though, in the sewer, and they're going to go all in. It's going to come down to this engagement in the sewer. Mirage teleporting in. Melee's being traded. The parry's so crucial. Rides one onto Shiv. That's a big kill to take down Arctic, and they will be able to find it. The catch as well onto the pocket. Fred's getting a lot of melees off here, and yeah, the quick melees. All right, Death of Billy greatly overstated. Great parry in the sewers.
Yeah, perfect position to have a fight for a Kawaii Crew in the sewers, and now let's see if they can capitalize some more.
Oh,
there's the captivating read. That's going to save the Billy here. He's going to get charged down by this Victor otherwise. So perfect save coming in from Paige. Good work there from Leviathan.
And Abrams delayed for a bit in the Baroness Hotel, but no chance to follow up on that kill. So Kawaii Crew fending off a bit of aggression here. They still have the smoke combo, so you got to be a little bit careful here in the mid lane. You'd love nothing more than to find a Wraith, and Mo thinking about it. Needs some follow-up for this combo. They're watching him. They know. Does Wraith know as well, though? That's the question. I think if, you know, it's kind of a hard go if she's got players behind her ready to peel.
Yeah, and gets collected, and they're going to bring that across the map now. And this might be another really interesting moment. I mean, the team fight for both teams is pretty good. No Billy ult at the moment, though. I guess if you're going to favor a team fight, you probably favor the team that has the Kelvin. And that dome is up at the moment.
Most thinking about trying to drop this turn, but there's a doorman here. I mean, this should be a very easy turn and a little bit awkward, I guess, the combo here, but it's still going to be good enough. Poshpop goes down, split pushing on the other side of the map, but you get a free earn for it. Will Tanner live? Well, Tanner still has ulti. He's taking this one on. This is a very down numbers of engagement, but Victor's one of the only characters in the game that is willing to take that kind of a risk, willing to take that kind of a fight. Still hasn't popped the shocking reanimation, does get sniped out of it, but has made it, I think, far enough away where I don't know that you want to chase this Victor up into the high ground. Billy's just going to go back and grab a Guardian, but this is costing you a Walker on the other side, and I mean, Victor is stalling 4v1 right now. Incredible value here from this delay, and has another Infuser online soon, so they're thinking about diving, but it might be too much risk here. As the blue Walker on the left side of the map pretty much getting, should already be going down here. Victor's still alive defending on the other side. I mean, this could turn it really bad for Kawaii Crew unless they can kill Victor quickly.
They find him, and in fact, Wraith does come in.
Oh, the
parries, though.
Oh,
that's insane.
He's soloing.
Oh, another parry coming on through. That's insane. A third. Oh, God.
Pashi just won this game. I mean, that is a backbreaker. This is the Wraith of all people, and you just gave her like 3 solo kills. Could be a 4th as he's chasing down Leviathan still, and I don't like Paige's odds here in this kind of a escape situation against Wraith. Just needs that one more card to close out the kill, and oh my God. I mean, that's a crazy spike to give Wraith. That's like almost, what is that, 5k souls plus straight to the Wraith. This is a worst case scenario because those are all solo kills pretty much. After Tanner dies, Pashi pretty much cleans the house up, defends the Walker, and gets all the reward.
Insane. Really, really insane. Something I love about Deadlock is the parry mechanic. I love any game that has a parry mechanic. It is, you know, it's always high risk because you can die if you mess it up, but if you get it, it can turn the entire situation around. And now, you know, this is becoming potentially like a really huge problem. A Victor that's extraordinarily hard to kill. You already have Shiv to worry about in that category as well. And then now you got Poshipop sitting on 27k. There's nobody even in 20ks yet for Kawaii Crew. They're going to find this fight, though, in the dome. And there's the escape through the door. The door man plus Kelvin dome combo is really excellent.
They managed to get into the dome, though, before they could slip away with the proceeds of that double. So they do drop the doorman. Question is, was it worth it? You deployed some ultimates, and from what it looks like, Thunder the Clock aren't going to be too scared to take this fight. Tanner thinking about going into it. They want to wait for a good opportunity, but they're definitely strong. This is not an easy fight for Kawaii Crew, even with the player advantage. Kawaii Crew reading it as well. They're just going to clear some jungle camps and head back. Yeah, Tanner's stepping up on this. He might be down 1, but he is definitely walking them down, sending Kawaii Crew a little bit back towards their side of the map.
All right. Well, 122k, 23k to 100, so sizable advantage for sure. And Mirage not super farmed behind this. You need some damage output, because otherwise Victor, Shiv, they're going to run all over you. That's exactly what's happening in mid there. That's going to be sending these Kawaii Crew players back towards base.
Yeah, but we're reaching that point in the game when I don't know how you're going to deal with this Victor, right? I feel like there's like serious Victor problems in this game because it's not just Victor, right? There's an incredible amount of damage threat behind him. But you've got Dorman and Calvin to make the Victor really awkward to kill and kind of make the fight, unpredictable as far as trying to burst an initiation. And then you've got ridiculous damage behind from Pocket and Wraith. And I feel like if Pashpop plays this one well, this is kind of what we're talking about in the draft. I feel like we're hitting that point where the comp in the late game is just really dominant. Like Kawaii Crew needed, I think, to tempo this game out. And Bunny the Clock have hit this point where, not quite yet, but I think we start getting up into like the 40, 50K net worths. And I just think it's going to be really hard. I think the Victor and the Pocket and the Wraith are going to kind of take over the game at that phase.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. Potentially a big team fight brewing around these bridge buff. Oh my god, the Page-Ol gets sent through into the heavens, and Pocket just looking for the perfect moment to jump on through. There's the Billy ult coming on through as well. Pocket able to get out of that fight, but ultimately looking at the health bars here, it's Kawaii Crew that are suffering.
Pashi's hunting Tanner, still has not even lost the ultimate yet. He's running them down on low HP, but that's deceptive. This is a Victor, far from an easy kill. And now Edboy chased down, hunted, Mirage, not even able to put out the damage in that team fight. And Bunny the Clock just crushed through the opposition, cleaning up now, finishing off some of these stragglers, but straight into the mid boss. And they're definitely thinking about the money match now. I mean, this is a game that has gone from bad to worse. Kawaii Crew, no ultimates left to contest this mid boss. I think they essentially have to give it up for free. There's not much else they can do on the map at this moment. Clear a wave or two, sure, but it's definitely the beginning of the end as Bunny with Clock tempoing towards an inevitable showing here in the money match.
Yeah, the Wraith is a little bit too out of hand at this point, for sure. There's nothing that can come remotely close to competing with that. Pop sitting on 32k. He's got a very, very dangerous combination of items, as you might expect. And pretty much all lanes just getting pushed up as much as possible. One Walker remaining on the right side. One bad fight from Kawaii Crew, and the game could be over if Poshipop stays alive. And again, I don't know how they deal with Tanner and Arctic, that are essentially the meat shields in front of him. What are they going to do?
They're going to try here, maybe looking in on this Shiv, but Arctic's still relatively healthy. Remember, they still have the rejuves here. Mo has that combo, but gets put into the hotel, so can't deploy it just yet. Bunny the Clock, they're sieging down other lanes. They are split pushing here, so Poshpop's just taking the base while this fight goes on. You've taken down one Crystal and Arctic, but I don't think this is a winning trade. Poshpop is taking the entire base here. You're comboing a Kelvin with ulti. He gets domed, he gets healed up by the Kelvin. It's enough to pop the ulti, but you're trapped in with the Victor now. Full HP up off the reset. Shiv as well looking into the backline with that ultimate reset. Can still look for more here as they're trying to defend this Walker. They're giving everything, but they're all so low, and now it's just a feast for the Shiv. He's looking for more. Boger, Leviathan just trying to get back to the base, but there's not much of a base to get back to. The picture-in-picture Poshipop is just ending the game as we get a pause here, but surely it's only going to delay the inevitable.
Yeah, Poshi's already in there.
I mean,
already
come on.
Crashes, guys.
They're all dead. They're all dead,
Yeah,
and he's ending the game.
No problem.
I mean, Pashi just didn't show up to that fight and just took the entire base, and they still could only get one Crystal. I mean, if that doesn't show how over this game is, I don't know what will.
Oh no, it's Fred that crashed as well. Did his game crash or did his PC crash? Imagine if he had to reset the timer and start all over again.
Fred's offline, guys. Fred is offline.
Uh-oh.
Right, internet boom.
I have a feeling Fred the Finch might not be back. Uncrash it, says his chat. It's not happening. Kawaii Crew, are we really going to play this one out, or are we moving on to the money match?
I gotta be so real with you, Puckett. I don't think this one is comebackable. I don't think this one's coming home. It's
as the official Deadlock expert on the channel, I hereby declare BWC moving on to another grand final in North America against Melee Creeps. I'll let Solomon and friends deal with this on the back.
Fuck it, just drops.
I mean, we'll give him a sec. We'll see what's going on here. But this is a uniquely over game.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, T-Reju's left as well. Still,
he's back.
The Billy is here.
All right, let's lock it in.
3, 2, 1. Go, Pashi.
All right, patron down.
Go, Pashi.
All right,
did you get the quick response?
Go, Raid.
Yeah. What else we got? We got the Chain Gang. That's Chain Gang's online.
What did you guys call them, chat? Candlelings?
I don't even know what you're referring to.
The little minions.
Candle troopers.
Candle troopers. Thank you, ZP.
Oh, baby candles.
We need the troopers more than ever here. They're buffed up. They're big boys. The shrine's down. Look at this little guy. Look at him go.
Just running out there for all the candle kinds.
Representing here with Mirage as slight distraction occurring in the mid lane as Bunny McClock looking to end the game with this rejuve. Troopers, think of the candle troopers.
Oh, here we go. They're going for it. They're going for it. The base
down.
now finally just jumping into the pit, looking to get this game done and dusted into the money match. The Sapphire Patron has been whittled away. Of course, now it's invulnerable. We've got a couple players contesting this one, looking to try to stand tall here, trying to mount some kind of a defense. But they'll be left with nothing but their pride here, because they're dead. They're all dead.
Surely not. I mean, a few nice kills coming in there. Kawaii Crew making something happen, showing that, hey, this Patron defense is pretty serious, even considering the disadvantage against them. That, hey, a couple more kills there for Raj, and we could have been looking at all.
They got half the team, Jake. It's just for the other half.
That was respectable, considering the game's state. That was respectable.
True. Highlight there at the end. Not much after the 20-minute point, though, as this was all Bunny with Clock, Gibbs, Aiden, Tanner, Cool Cheese, Arctic, and Poshy Pop moving on to another grand finals with 600 plus on the line. Reminder, you guys can contribute to the overall prize pool. Simply scroll down below the stream. There's a donate button. Contribute as much as you're willing to. It goes directly into the players' pockets. With that said, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game. DDK, was it close in the first half? The numbers looked that way.
I mean, the first 15 minutes, or at least I guess around from 10 minutes to 15, that kind of 5 minutes, they were Kawaii were looking kind of good. It's like they were actually looking like they had an opportunity to do a good job continuing momentum into mid late game, but then one bad fight around this Walker here, I think, and then everything just sort of went wrong. It wasn't this fight, it was earlier in the game, and they just lost momentum completely. And I think one of the things that then next went out of hand was Poshy Pop getting 3 kills, solo kills, and just getting insanely far ahead immediately. And then after that, there was just no return.
Was the Moen Krill as worthless as you thought it would be in the new meta?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sold. I understand the utility it brought and some of the problems it was there to help solve, but I think I would have preferred pick just something to pick instead, even a Lash.
Yeah, you feel like a Holiday or a Paradox there could have maybe pulled somebody out of position and does it, but the Mo is just struggling to stay alive in the fights when they're that far behind, right?
Gotta highlight the Victor. Welcome into Night Shift. Highlight the Wraith. Poshy Pop drops most souls. He's also going to do the most objective damage for his squad, as it's 32 kills to just 17. Jake, as you walk through, what's the most impressive number or build on that screen?
Honestly, I was a big fan of Victor this game. I love the Phantom Strike. I think that's kind of a cheeky buy on Victor, getting you deep into the back line, on top of some of those squishies that might normally be able to keep you at a distance. So I like the Victor from Tanner, but I mean, we got to give it to Poshy, Rand. On the Wraith, had one crazy team fight where he sews up and just solo cleans house on Kawaii Crew, and then for the rest of the game, he's just pushing the base. He's like, that was my team fight of the game. You've had my participation. I'm here for the objectives now.
Fred, thank you for playing. Congratulations on your new subs. Fred the Finch and Kawaii Crew, they will fall short of the grand finals, but it's Bunny with Clock moving on to play a familiar foe. It's Melee Creeps round 5. Ding, ding, ding. What's going to be different tonight, though, DDK? Sell us. Keep us here for the other half.
Well, Melee Creeps, the perennial winners. We saw a 2-0 in the EU final, but with Melee Creeps and Bunny with Clock, they go 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. So this is the 2-1 time, so we should get 3 maps if the trend is to continue.
That's how it works. That's how math works. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break.